Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights, and we're back once again
Yep, we're back.
on Friday.
Da-da-da.
I always wish I knew when you were gonna do something because I would just shut up and let you do it. And like half the time on the replay, you be doing stuff, and I'm like, okay, so next, and
I
I'm,
don't
and I'm
know when
like,
I'm
damn
gonna do
it.
anything.
I know it's so I don't want to say impulsive. I want to say it's so
It is impulsive.
improvised that
Yes.
I don't even know when it's coming.
Yeah, I don't know when it's coming either, but I just,
You have
if the
Tourette's. No,
feeling
I'm just kidding.
if the feeling moves me, I just roll with it. So that's what happened today. I'm trying to, keep the spirits up, you know?
What spirits?
Mine.
Oh, okay. I
I
don't
don't
know. So maybe you have friends on the other side, like Princess and the Frog.
No.
All right, let's get this thing started. I am JD, aka He Who Pods. Glasses on today, so also rear view mirror,
And I'm Dash, aka Dashing D, aka the real king of R&B. Hi.
aka somebody cash at me money for a coffee.
Oof, I could use some coffee right now. But
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's you, aka somebody cash at me some coffee money.
yeah, I don't even have water next to me right now. It's just a little out of sorts because I'm not in my usual spot. But it's cool.
When you're potting on location,
I'm
it
potting on
happens.
location.
I
Sometimes
understand.
desperate times call for desperate measures.
That's a fact. And speaking of desperate times,
Mm-hmm.
let's go right into our first topic.
Yep.
This article is from BBC. We're going across the pond for this one.
Mm-hmm.
It says here, harassment case against Lizzo dropped.
Yep.
It says Lizzo has won a key ruling in her ongoing legal battle with a stylist who claims she was subjected to racial and sexual, I don't know if I can say this word on YouTube, stuff, and a hostile work environment by members of the singer's management team while on tour in 2023, as well as unpaid overtime. A Los Angeles federal judge ruled on Monday that wardrobe assistant, I'm not saying her name, could not sue the Grammy winner as an individual
Mm-hmm.
after identifying the singer's touring and payroll companies as her employers. But Big Girl, Big Touring Inc. remains. That's how it's spelled. B is spelled. Look, it's
No, I know how to spell.
spelled
I know how you don't even.
GRRRL. Girl.
I know how it's spelled. Thank you.
It, you knew somebody black owned it too.
You were
Not too much
saying.
on black folks today, actually.
You were saying.
But Big Girl Inc. But Big Girl, Big Touring Inc. remains a defendant in the ongoing case.
Uh-huh.
The U.S. District Judge Fernando L. Anel Rocha, that's a Spanish motherfucker right there. God damn. 5 names in that piece. It's
I know
4. I'm
my
being silly.
business. Uh-huh.
Anyway, Judge Rocha dismissed all 7 causes of action against Lizzo and those regarding her tour manager, Carolina Gugliotta. The judge also granted a partial motion to dismiss several of the claims due to the fact that Daniels worked for the company while on tour in Europe, where American employment laws do not apply. That is called a legal loophole, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
The fashion designer claims Lizzo oversaw a quote, unsafe, sexually charged workplace culture, which the singer has denied. She accused the star's wardrobe manager of making racist and fat-phobic comments and mocking black women in the entourage. A spokesperson for the singer called the case an absurd publicity stunt. Her lawyers described Daniels as a disgruntled former employee with meritless and salacious claims.
Hmm.
Uh,
So,
so
so
this is
this
not
is
the
rough.
case of the dancers. This is another case which echoes the same sentiments as that, which I was about to get to. I just want to be clear.
Okay.
Because I know the ones with dancers were the ones that got more publicity.
Well, because they were more salacious. So, as far as the converse, the some of the things that were said, I think were more they were more interesting, if you will. Like they were the things that people were talking about. You know, there's you have these cases and they have like a bunch of bullet points and people pick out the most
Yeah,
shocking bullet
yeah,
points out of it, and that's what I mean.
right. Agreed. Just the last thing I'll say here from the article, it says the Star and Big Girl Touring Company have requested the judge, excuse me, requested the court, I can't read, have requested that the court dismiss the dancers' allegations.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, the dancers' allegations. The dancers are requesting a jury trial. Dun, dun, dun.
They're playing the long game. I'm kidding.
Yes, they are.
I'm kidding.
All right, that's it. Your thoughts?
My thoughts. I mean, I don't. The law is the law, and if that's what they decided. Now, I mean, again, I don't think that this is, as I said this before, what is sometimes what is legal or what is the status quo is not necessarily what is right, or you know what I mean.
Sure do.
So, so I think that there's a gray area with this whole Lizzo situation, and there's always been a gray area where it's like, okay, maybe she didn't do anything, and that can be argued. But if, for argument's sake, let's say she didn't do anything illegal, or she didn't do anything that would maybe warrant a guilty verdict in a lawsuit or whatnot. But it doesn't necessarily mean that she shouldn't reevaluate her practices or the way that she does things. I've heard a lot of music industry people say, well, the music industry is the music industry, and this thing is normal and that thing is normal. I think just like any other thing, when it comes to like how it affects other people or
Mm-hmm.
how it affects the people involved, I think it's worth taking putting it under the microscope a little bit and trying to figure out what is the best path forward,
Okay.
because the same old thing is not always the best path forward. So
Okay.
I think that Lizzo should I think it's great, that it's been at least that part of it is behind her. But I think something that she should do, and I hope she has done, is reevaluate the way that she does business, reevaluate the way she interacts with her employees, and just take some ownership of it. I think everybody has to take a little bit of ownership. As someone who worked for an entertainment company, there's a lot of like gray areas. There's a lot of lines crossed. There's a lot of weirdness and a lot of inappropriate conversations and maybe inappropriate interactions and things like that happen that people think are pretty standard and pretty normal. But I would just encourage people, especially Lizzo, since she's in this position and the other suit is still hanging out there. I would encourage her to give things a fine tune and hire somebody to handle personnel also. That's because a lot of these people just kind of handle it it's different. It's fast and loose. There's a lot of freelancing going on. I think the person who was like choreographing the dances was also like managing them or something like that. And maybe that's how it works in some places. But sometimes it's worth it to have a third party come in and, help you get the personnel issues under control.
Hmm.
That's what I'll say about it. I mean, good luck to Lizzo on all her future endeavors.
I should have known that was coming.
Yeah. What
I
about you?
thought, well, you said the management thing, and I was gonna say I could have sworn her manager was named. I thought Gugliato or whatever was the manager,
Right, but you mean her manager or like a manager of the employees?
the tour manager. That's who's named here. So Carlina Gugliata is the tour manager.
I gotta be honest, I don't know exactly what tour managers do with relation to everybody who's like cast and crew. I don't
Fair
know.
point.
I don't
Good
know
question.
how that seems like one person to manage a lot of people, if that's the case.
I thought it
But
was Lizzo's manager, but it says tour manager. Those
yeah.
those the job description of a tour manager is very different than the job description of the artist's manager. I think what's important here is the distinction
Mm-hmm.
between Lizzo, the individual, and your employer in this situation. And I think that knowing the difference is important as an employee, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, everything when it comes to litigation is about technical parts.
Mm-hmm.
What we say on the outside of court, oh, that's semantics. In the legal world, those semantics, those words matter a
Better.
lot more.
Yeah.
So you said the Big Girl Touring Company, Big Girl Big Tour, or whatever it's called, is who your employer is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you can sue your employer. You cannot
Right.
sue the individuals who work for them. And that's not always true, but in this case, it has been
Yeah.
determined that that is the case. And so I think it's important that there's a distinction made between the individual
Mm-hmm.
and the company that you work for, because you can sue a conglomerate, a company, an incorporated licensed company. It's not so easy to sue an individual and make the same claims because liability changes in those instances. And so I think it's important that they made this distinction on which your employer is and what you filed. That doesn't mean they can't file another suit with the proper stuff, but in this instance, it was a no-go. Also, that legal loophole may be what gets all of this dismissed
Yeah.
because what you are seeing is this federal judge is saying what happens overseas is a whole different ball game. That means perhaps they need to go overseas and
Mm-hmm.
sue Lizzo. I'm not encouraging that. I'm just saying maybe that's the path. They're going to have to speak to a couple of different lawyers who understand how these things work. And that could be expensive. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all of this moves forward. I agree. The dancers are playing the long game. It's a smart move. This is a victory for Lizzo and the touring manager.
Mm-hmm.
But she should brace herself. And I know she's been tightening her belt, pun intended. But she should brace herself because it looks like the next thing will be her touring company who gets legal action taken against them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is over. I think she won the fight, but the war continues on.
That was very dramatic. But well,
Why?
it just she may have won the fight.
I wasn't even trying to be dramatic. That's the funny part, but I'll take it.
Okay. Um,
Oh, please. Yeah.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say, and to your point, just to make it clear, yeah, if it's the touring company who was in charge of that or who should have been managing that better, then they too need to tune up on their practices and make sure that everything is tight. Um,
Oh, I didn't address that. Let me be clear. I agree that you can't treat your employees like shit. And I'm not saying she is, but there are many allegations against her and the company for doing so. And so, yes, I agree. You need to treat your employees with respect. And yeah, we know the predatory nature of the entertainment industry. However, we also know the times we're living in. You need to be weary of the things that you're doing. And again, there are allegations. I'm not saying did happen, but it looks bad when a whole group of employees are saying these very similar things. Because if 27 people call you a crackhead, might be something to look into.
Speaking of people who make questionable choices,
Oh, I think it's in the six. Speaking of crackheads, I'd say, man, that is a
I'm not gonna make. I wasn't
strong
gonna.
name to call him.
I don't know that man to call him a crackhead. I don't just randomly call crackheads. But
I think we should play the audio.
yeah, play it.
All right, great. Let me pull it up because I don't want to be attacked in the comments for misquoting. So let's
Andrew Schultz.
Oh, yep. He was ready before me, but yep. Andrew Schultz, ladies and gentlemen.
They'll do whatever. I'm not a tough guy, yo. But just Kendrick, I would make love to him. Nothing he can do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love to him, and the only thing that he could do is decide if it's consensual or not. That's the only thing he could do. If it's me and Kendrick, it's about Kendrick. You know if I get hard. But if we're in a cell, there's a chance that we're in a cell and we're bored and we done tattooing each other, whatever you do in the cell. And we ran out of board games and we did all the other things. We cleaned everything and I'm like, man, I might as well fuck you. There's nothing he could physically do to stop that. Besides put his legs in the air and choose a position. Maybe I let him choose a position. Why are you putting this picture on Mark? Why are you doing this? Put up that picture of him and Travis Kelce girl. Look at that. Dude, that's unbelievable. Yo, I'll be honest. I would go so far as to say, I don't think he could stop most people on the planet from having sex with him. Like, the only reason he got security is to stop people from having sex with him whenever he wants. Now, don't get me wrong. There's people who could fuck me against my will. I was in an elevator once with this drag queen, and this motherfucker was like 6'5". Oh, yeah. Elevator and we're going down. I'm like, yo, if he wanted to take it, I gotta cause a ruckus or something like that. Like, they'll do whatever. I'm not a tough guy.
That's it.
I wish he would just go away.
He who? Schultz?
Is there someone else?
Well, he's talking about Kendrick in the clip. So, and then more than one person is mentioned in his clip, and there's a person talking. I just wanted to make sure we were clear. Go ahead. You wish Andrew Schultz went away.
Yeah, he's talking about Kendrick, but we're talking about him. This is gross. I don't care that he's a comedian. Honestly, I don't give a fuck about him. I really don't want to talk about him, but message to Black people, all of y'all who sit next to him and laugh with him, all of y'all who think he's amusing and you know, special in some way, like, fuck him and fuck y'all. That's where I'm at with it. Like, leave us alone. Just, why don't you go find something else to talk about? I'm tired. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of hearing about him. I don't even know a lot about this guy, to be honest. I don't know enough, and honestly, I don't care. Don't come in our comments and try to explain to me how important he is. I don't give a shit. I really don't care. I'm tired of him. Don't talk about us. Don't talk about Kendrick. Don't talk about Meg. I don't care who it is. Don't talk about us. Even if you have something nice to say, why don't you just mind your business? That's where I'm at with Andrew Schultz. He can go away. He can disappear. That's it. I don't have anything else to say.
Okay. Yeah, he's a comedian. He's a podcaster. He's also the co-host of a podcast with Charlemagne. Or was the co-host. I'm not really sure if it's still coming out or not.
This is the same guy that was doing what is it? That other podcast that Charlamagne used to do?
That's his
I don't
co-host
get the name.
on. Yeah, that's
That's
his
him?
co-host on that show. Yeah. That's who that is. So that leads to where I'm going. It seems that this person's strategy, Schultz, part of their strategy is staying culturally relevant with blacks while also being amongst the whites. And your strategy is your strategy. I won't say whether it's good or bad. That's for you and
I
your
will. Sorry.
that's for you and your team to figure out. This is clearly a clip of a larger conversation. I don't know how this came up, but what it makes me curious about is, was this the response to Kendrick's line about comedians not making jokes about black women?
I think so.
Because that's what comes to my mind when I see this clip. For those who are going to comment and say, you should do your research before talking about things,
No.
I say suck my dick. Because I don't want to, one. And two, I'm not going to research Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz is a comedian and a podcaster who likes to say things that do this, that are outrageous to the public, that will have people up in arms, and that will circulate amongst the black media. And clearly that worked, because here we are. My problem is, I think that's a whack thing to do. I think that if you want to be relevant in cultural media, there are a lot of other ways to do it. That's the first thing I'm going to say. My second thing is, this wasn't funny. And let me be clear, I wasn't sitting here with a straight face because I was trying to hold back a laugh. I was sent this video yesterday, and when I saw the video, I was like, but this isn't funny. Forget about the outrageous part for just a second. This is clearly supposed to be over the top and comedic. But it's not funny though. Also, it's really fucking dumb. Because now let's get to the context of what you're saying. They put up a picture of Kendrick and, quote, Travis Kelce's girlfriend. Like he doesn't know who Taylor Swift is. Can't. There's no way.
Which
he can know
irritated
who
me
Taylor
too, but I
Swift
don't have
is.
time to defend her today. So it's like,
I think that is just more proof of the outrage, the intent to outrage.
there's just nothing
Because
redeemable about this man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Haven't found one redeemable thing. Every time I hear about him, it's always negative. It's always like, why did you do that? Or why did you say that?
well, that's his thing. And that's my point here. It's that this is what he tries to do. But my thing is, I mean, sure, it has people up in arms, but it wasn't funny, Mr. Comedian.
No.
And the next thing is, the reason why I said it's really dumb is because your whole bit here, I'm going to call it a bit, your whole bit here is basically about you assuming a short man cannot defend themselves. Perhaps
That's
you
how he
have
got
not.
to the R word? Because he's
Yeah,
short?
he's saying, look at that guy. He can't defend himself. And then they put the picture of him and Taylor Swift, and you can see that she's much taller than he is. Now,
You better be careful walking the streets of LA. That's all
well, that's where I was going, because perhaps you haven't heard, Mr. Schultz.
like, I
But-
don't understand.
But the word on the street is, all Kendrick does is rap and work out. Let me do like Dr. Umar and say it again. The word on the street is that all Kendrick does is rap and work out. The word on the street.
That's fine. But I'll do you one better. Kendrick don't even have to lift a finger.
I'm only saying that you want to do these kind of jokes about the man whose reputation is that all he does is rap and work out. He even said in the song, I start my day with running 6 miles just to make sure I'm sharp.
But also,
I'm pretty sure that guy will do more than defend himself against you.
But this is also the guy who is friends with all the gangbangers in LA.
I don't know that he's their friends, and I will not say anything that will cause problems for that man.
I'm not trying to cause problems.
But
for
let's
him.
just
He's
say,
been openly saying that he's trying to unify the gangs in LA. How would that be telling? What is? I'm confused. Is that?
But
not
let's just say all of the West Coast
recently.
Let's just say that all of the West Coast.
No, I'm asking. Has that not been a conversation recently?
Trying to unify doesn't mean we're friends. It means that we are on the same
friendly
page.
with, or he's not on the opposite side of them, is he? Based on, I don't think I'm saying anything that isn't out there.
I got you. My point is the whole West Coast is very serious about being on his side right now. And if you happen to travel to the West Coast, you may be the one who needs security. Because you may find yourself in some problems. And I just want to say, if we as men are defining our manhood and our toughness and our ability to defend ourselves simply on height and weight, that's a sad state. Because Kendrick being slim or Kendrick being skinny doesn't have anything to do with his ability to defend himself.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say, Dash, that it was about height was because at the end of the clip, he says the person he was in the elevator with was 6'5".
Right.
And so seems to me that this is about height. But even if it's about weight, what does that have to do with anything? Slim, tall, short, fat. None of it has anything to do with your ability to defend yourself.
No.
So that's it for me. I just think it's sad that we all fall for the trick, because this was only brought to my attention because this is all over the internet and people are upset with Andrew Schultz. And I just wish we wouldn't keep falling for the tricks. And that's all I want to say, because we don't talk about him, and this probably be the last time you hear us talk about him.
Probably not, because he'll probably say something about somebody else that needs to be addressed. But what I won't do is watch his show. Like, I'm not gonna look for context. I'm not gonna, oh man, I wonder what they were talking about before they said that. No, I don't care. I'm not giving it a like, a listen, a view, a nothing. And it's one thing to share it off of it's one thing to consume it off of a platform that used the footage. It's another thing to go directly to his platform and try to find that information. And normally I would do that, just do that with other people, just to make sure that we are being accurate and we are maintaining the integrity of whatever the thing is. I don't have any desire to do that with this person, because I think this person is a rotten human being, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of every time there's a conversation there about him, it has to do with Black people and Black women and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't. And then the knucklehead sitting next to him.
Yeah.
A big fuck you to them. I don't know who they are, and I don't have a particular desire to know their names or anything about them. Fuck them too.
I
Because
feel
they're
you.
even worse. If you want to get into it. We don't have to get into it, but they're even worse.
Nah, we can leave it there. Let's go from the worst to the greatest. Billboard recently put out a list of the greatest pop stars of the 21st century. And so they say this is, since late August, we've been rolling out our picks for the artists who have most defined pop stardom for the last 25 years. And so there's all type of stuff they have here. There's essays for each person and why they were chosen. We're not going to get into all of that. But let's get to the list. 25 names. Let's start at the bottom. Number 25, Katy Perry. Number 24, Ed Sheeran. Number 23, Bad Bunny. Number 22, One Direction. Okay, I got to pause for just a second here because One Direction is a group. I'm a little confused. Why is a group on the list?
That's the I can't
No, I
answer
know
that
you don't
question
know the
because they're.
answer. I'm just saying, like, that's weird to me.
But I
I'm
don't
not
think.
I'm not asking you to explain. I'm saying I'm a little confused by that.
I think they did group or individual artists because there's at least one other group that I can think of that's on that list as well.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. That's I can't tell Billboard how to do their list, but
Ah, okay. 21, Lil Wayne. 20, Bruno Mars. 19, BTS, another group.
that's what I was thinking of.
18, The Weeknd. 17, Shakira. Shakira being higher than The Weeknd is bananas, but we'll get to it.
Strange, but we're higher than BTS.
It's those hips.
They don't lie.
Number 16, Jay-Z. Number 15, Miley Cyrus. Number 14, Justin Timberlake. Number 13, Nicki Minaj. Number 12, Eminem. Number 11, Usher. Number 10, Adele. Number 9, Ariana Grande. If you saw Wicked, you know what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, Justin Bieber. Number 7, Kanye West. Number 6, Britney Spears. Number 5, Lady Gaga. Number 4, Drake. Number 3, Rihanna. Number 2, Taylor Swift. Number 1, Queen Bee, Beyonce.
Tell me again what the title of the list is.
The title of the list is The Greatest Pop Stars of the 21st Century.
Of the 21st century.
It says they are rolling out their picks for the artists who have most defined pop stardom for the last 25 years. And each person has an essay, and you can find those essays if you click on the names and stuff. I'm not
Okay. Because I was sitting here trying to figure out how Michael Jackson didn't make the list. So because Michael Jackson came out before the year 2000 and
Yeah,
died
so this is
a
right. This is
decade
from
into the 2000s.
all right, it's 2000 till today. So really 99, right? Because 25 years they're saying.
I just kind of feel like he still made the cut, but it's fine. Can't tell Billboard how to do their list.
All right, but what do we think? Come on, talk to me.
Well,
They have an honorable mention section. I don't know if you want me to.
not really. That's unless there's like somebody there that
It's another 25.
Oh, that's a lot of people. It's weird
And
to me.
I can't click on read more. Oh, there you go. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's weird to me that I don't know. I just feel like Michael Jackson kind of makes the cut there. I don't. It's a little strange to me that he's somewhere on the list because he was still an active artist within their window.
Okay.
And And don't get me wrong, I don't think that every list that happens has to like. I realize that these artists are considered more current, but I just feel like he was within the window, and I don't know how you deny that. I think that the names on the list are pretty spot on as far as who we would think would be on this list. I
Okay.
have some questions about a couple people. Like, I don't know. Like, I might have put Katy Perry in the honorable mention section.
Okay.
I think Beyonce, well deserved.
Okay.
I think Beyonce is well deserved. I think Beyonce has had a very long career at this point, and Beyonce is still cooking it up and
Chefing.
continues to elevate herself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what makes her so important,
Okay.
and so worthy of the list. Because what number was Britney Spears?
6.
I just think the ordering is a little weird too.
Yep.
Like, I think that the people that they chose are valid in being on the list. Although I feel like Katy Perry and Miley Cyrus, I don't, and I love Miley Cyrus down, but
You
I
sure
don't
do.
know that those two people that I would have put them in the top 25.
Okay.
I also feel like the ordering is a little strange. Like, how do you go from like some of the people that are a little bit lower on the list than Beyonce? I just don't know how you went from them and then like leapt all the way to Beyonce. It's a little strange to me. But that's y'all's business over there at Billboard. Thank you for your list. We appreciate it. I just think that I would have organized it a little bit differently. And maybe kicked some people off the list and reconsidered a couple of other people.
Would you like to say some names? You want to put some
Well,
names on these
I
bullets?
started out by saying I feel like Michael Jackson fits the criteria.
Oh, so you would so you would take out Katy Perry and put Michael Jackson.
Absolutely, in a heartbeat.
Okay.
And I'm not even the biggest Michael Jackson fan. Oh no, egregious. I'm not. Because people freak out when you say you're not the biggest Michael Jackson fan. I'm not. I grew up on Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson. I think he's great. I love all his music. I've listened to all his albums. That doesn't mean that he's my favorite artist. I'm not gonna lie about that just to make y'all feel good. But but as far as like undeniable talent, like I don't have to like someone that much for me to realize that they should be at the top of a list. That's why we're able to do a podcast, because we can actually look at things and say, hey, that person's great. Didn't like the song, but
Right.
I think this list is weird, but these lists are always weird.
That's my answer.
And who are these people? Who made this list? Like, who got an opportunity to vote? Because
I don't know that answer. Doesn't say.
Because these lists are usually a group project. They're not written by one person.
That is true.
So, I mean, that's a gift and a curse. You want a wide range of perspectives, but you also have to realize that also if your staff is a specific age group or your staff is a specific demographic, that is going to skew the list as well. I'm sorry to get so technical here. I feel like Beyonce should be number one. I just want to be clear. That I agree with. Everything else can be reevaluated. I like that Jay-Z is on the list. I like that Kanye is on the list. For what it's worth, Kanye could piss me off every day. Doesn't mean that he's not talented. Who else am I not thinking of? Rihanna's on the list. I like that Rihanna's on the list. Here's the thing, and we got to have an honest conversation about Rihanna. Rihanna stopped making music a really long time ago, and that's why I'm upset about Michael Jackson, because Rihanna stopped making music a really long time ago. So even though she's within the window, she hasn't made music in a very long time, which is why some other people
About
could have
10
been
years now.
added. Right. Which is why some other people could have been included in this list if we're not worried about that, right?
Right.
But then I don't know if Rihanna gets to be as high on the list as she is.
Oh, not 10 years. 2016 Anti came out.
And I love when I tell you I love Rihanna more than Beyonce. Like, but I'm trying to be fair here. So I don't know. What do you think? Sorry,
No, it's okay. You're
caught
on
me
one today.
Y'all call me on a morning where I just.
It's a flaming Friday. You know what I mean? You're on fire.
Yeah.
I think this is interesting because it's a pop star list.
Oh, that's true too. We got to remember that it's a pop star list. Yes, but I think everything I said was relevant.
Okay. It explains to me why Kanye is 9 digits above Jay-Z. It explains to me why Drake is the. It explains to me why Drake is the only man in the top 5.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention Drake. Yep, that makes sense to me too. Him being in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked he wasn't number 2 or 3.
As someone pointed out, even Kendrick called Drake a goat on his album.
Oh yeah, absolutely, killed a goat.
I mean, granted, he was killing the goat, but the fact of the matter is, there was still a goat.
There was a goat. You know, it's interesting to me that Shakira made this list. Mm-hmm. I would take Shakira off this list. Huh?
I agree.
Oh, yeah, Shakira got to go. The Weeknd should be higher.
Way higher. Like, The Weeknd should be number 2 if we're being honest.
I don't know how Bruno Mars is number 20. He's Mr. Grammy. Like,
Bruno could easily be number 3.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how The Weeknd and Bruno are so much lower. I'm shocked that The Weeknd is 18 because we spoke up here about him and Taylor Swift constantly battling for the number 1 streams on the most amount of streams, or people listening to whatever the number is, some crazy stat about their music getting played. It keeps going back and forth between The Weeknd and Taylor Swift. I don't know how he could be number 18. That's like crazy to me.
The Weeknd should easily fit in the top 5 of any pop star of the last of the 21st century list, easily.
Yes, I'm confused by that. I don't think the groups should be up here. I'm let me be clear. I'm not hating on the groups. I just always feel like if we're doing an individual list, don't include groups. It's like putting Wu-Tang up here. Wu-Tang, yeah, they're huge stars, but they don't belong on this list. Right. On any list that's about individuals. I don't like when people do that with Outkast either. There's a bunch of groups that people do it with. I don't think it should be done. If it's about pop stars, like singular, then leave it singular. So I would take off One Direction and BTS, not because they don't have a huge impact. They absolutely do. But just because this list is individuals. So I would remove One Direction and BTS. I don't have a problem with Katy Perry being there. I don't really know her discography, so I can't speak to it. I noticed people might be mad at me for this, but I think Usher should be way lower on the list. I don't know how Usher is number 11.
Oh, I forgot.
And The Weeknd is number 18. That's like really weird to me. I'm sorry, but Usher's not in the same category as some of these other people, and really never has been.
I would put him in an honorable mention. I wouldn't even have Usher as the top 25. If
I just don't get it. I don't understand the list, to be honest, because I was hoping at some point in the article they would say their criteria. They did not in this in what I saw. Maybe there's another link where they did, but in the link I just read from, which is from the Billboard site, it does not say the criteria. But it's just weird to me because I'm baffled by it.
I think Usher's on
I
that
just
list.
think.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Usher's on that list because of his current run. I don't think Usher would have been on that list if the Super Bowl didn't happen, the Vegas residency wasn't so successful. I don't think that they would have put him on the list. I think maybe he would have made honorable mention, but I don't think he would have made this list.
You hear Usher maybe going back to Vegas?
Yeah, I thought that was set.
Oh, okay. We can talk about it another time. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I think this is a weird list. Like you said, all lists are weird. And so that was my initial thought. And same thing, like I don't listen to any Bad Bunny, but Bad Bunny being 23 is like a crime.
Bad Bunny should be in the top 10.
It's
The Weeknd
really,
should be in the
really
top
weird.
10. Bad Bunny should be in the top 10. Taylor Swift should be in the top 10. Where's Taylor Swift on the list?
She's number 2.
Oh, okay, she's number 2. I'm sorry.
Like always.
Because I wasn't talking
She's
about
always
her.
going to be 1 or 2. It's real simple out here.
Oh, so when I was saying that The Weeknd should have been number 2 and Bruno Mars should have been high up, I was kind of like, I don't know why I was blocking her out of my mind, but
Because that's what you do to Swiftie.
but I do think number 2 is solid for her. And I think
Yeah, I mean, her, Beyonce, and Drake are going to be all in that same group. But I feel like it should probably be Beyonce. I'm not going to change 1 and 2. Y'all put them wherever y'all want. I don't give a fuck, honestly.
I think 1 and 2 are fine.
But whoever you want to put first and second, Beyonce or Swift, whatever. However y'all want to do it, I'm comfortable with. But I think it should be whoever's them 2, The Weeknd, Drake, Bruno. That to me is the 5, and then 6 would be Lady Gaga, and then y'all could go crazy after that, whatever.
Oh, and Lady Gaga deserves to. Just so we're clear, Lady Gaga was huge.
Oh yeah.
I say is and was because I feel like she also had like this very big introduction to the world and whatnot, and she was riding very high for a long time.
I agree.
Like she's now settled into her career, like many of the people on that list have settled into their career, so it's not as big and explosive as it was at the peak.
Yeah, no, I agree. And last thing I'm gonna say, I think Justin Bieber is too high. He's number 8. I don't think he should be 8 today.
Today, no.
If they talking about the last 25 years, I don't think he should be number 8. Some of the people on this list
could be a lot higher today.
Yeah, he could go a little further down. Yeah. But that's my thoughts. We got to get out of here. We're short on. We ran over time, big time. So that's it. Final thoughts, or you're done?
Nah, just lists are.
They're weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, that's it for us. This has been Weeknights. Thank you for being here, listening, viewing, watching, commenting, liking. Thank you for all of it. We appreciate you. We will be back on Monday. Adios.
Bye.